Welcome, welcome, everyone. Today's Friday. You know how I know? We're here. Welcome to May 13th, 23rd, Rotary. Why do I screw that up every other time? Welcome to the May 23rd Rotary meeting. Appreciate having you all. You look amazing. You look great. Love seeing the smiles. I'm not done yet. I was always going to say you all look beautiful and handsome, but some of you look pretty ugly. Besides that, that's okay. I am Stephen Hammers. I'm your president. And I have loved this job. Thank you very much for that trust. We are going to begin with the invocation for Bob Searcy and the pledge and four-way test with Pat Ryan. Bob?
Will you pray with me? Father God, thank you for today and so richly blessing us in so many ways. We thank you for this place and our time together and this food. We pray that you'll give us wisdom as we go about our day. We pray that you will watch over our families and the families of those who aren't present today and keep us safe and healthy. We ask particular blessing on our nation, Lord, and all those who serve in various capacities and in all the governmental departments and divisions and the things that are trying to do the right things to help our lives. We ask that you give particular wisdom to those in leadership and bring back civility in our nation and turn our nation back to you. We ask that you give us wisdom as we go about trying to serve and follow the model service above self. For all our blessings, we give you praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag on this weekend as we remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in defense of the nation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
The truth,
second,
the prayer of all concerned,
third,
would build goodwill, better friendships,
fourth,
with beneficial to all.
We certainly hope so.
Our lovely secretary, Jennifer Wayne, is going to introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians.
Happy Friday, everyone. For those of us with kids under 18 or 19, school is out. Yay! No, thank you. Yes, the parents made another year. Okay, we have a few guests today. We have, where's Paula? There you are up there. Paula, thank you for coming. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. I'm Paula Chilton. I am actually a guest with Martin Plumley, and I do not see Martin Plumley here yet. But I am also part of the Leadership Brentwood class of 2023, same class with Jim, and he's one of my good friends. I'm just here to support him and listen to his future of what he thinks the city of Brentwood's going to do.
Thank you, Paula. I wouldn't hold my breath on Martin. And just FYI, you probably recognize a lot of faces. There's a lot of leadership graduates in this club. And we have Tamara. Where is it? Tamara or Tamara? There you are. Tammy. Welcome, Tammy. Tammy found us through our website, and we're so glad you're here today.
Hi, Tammy McInerney. I'm a refugee from California.
Hey.
So I've been here for about a year and a half, and all my colleagues, a lot of colleagues were in Rotary in California, and I never had time raising children, and so happy to be here and excited to get involved. I'm a CPA, by the way. CPA.
Be careful when you say it. First of all, you're a target, and second of all, you can run numbers. So, yeah. I bet that happens a lot when you join things. Yeah. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you, and we have a very special guest today.
I have my mother with me. If you get a chance,
Hey,
come say hello if you get a minute. Keep everything quiet.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you. Okay, did we get everybody? All right, well, welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a good Memorial Day.
thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. It is time for Happy Bucks. Tucker, make it happy.
Shine. In a buck today. I've talked about it a couple times, but I'm doing the 30 under 30 for Nashville, and I've raised over 13,000 at this point for Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So pretty cool. Anybody? Here we go, Jared.
Happy to have the chief, the mayor, and the sheriff all in one building.
So I thought today I'd better pay for my public service announcement. Usually I take advantage of having the microphone when I'm, introducing guests. But first thing I'm really excited about is my oldest son made the Ravenwood basketball team, the freshman team. Yes, I'm so proud of him. That makes you nervous, doesn't it? Lord, we all know that. And the second thing, this is the time of year in May that I always honor my mom. Many of you have this is probably the 5th year I've done this. She's been gone 5 years. And she was a fantastic Rotarian. And her legacy in my little town of Dawson Springs, Kentucky is amazing. The things she did, she was mayor there, and she was a tried and true Rotarian for many, many years. Paul Harris Fellow many times over, president of that little club more than once. And this is the time of year I just want to honor her and make sure that we recognize the great work of people before us. And my brother and I laughed. She is buried in Western Kentucky. We can't get grass to grow on her grave. You know how you manage that? We're like, she's so honorary even from the grave. We can't even get the grass. Right. So anyways, I wanted to honor her. My kids are done at middle school. It's going to be a good summer. Thank you.
Y'all, I went to the rodeo last weekend. It is quite an undertaking, and next year's the 75th anniversary. And so if we can partner up with them, we've got some huge potential to reach a lot of great members of the community who could be good members. People from all over the world come to this thing. It was amazing to see all the different languages spoken, but they're doing some big stuff. So let's see what else we can do around here.
I'll get you next. It's kind of a hike. She's happy. She's happy to be happy.
Wife and I get to attend our oldest grandchild, which is a granddaughter, her graduation from high school. I probably shared this with you guys before, but she'll be attending, is Tom here, Tom Carr? Oh my goodness. She'll be attending Florida State University next year on a golf scholarship. So we're all excited about that.
Back and forth. Now, will somebody over here do Happy Bucks next?
This was not planned. This is just kind of funny. When you get to be my age, things, happen that you think, well, I know about that. Leadership Brentwood, great. I was in the first class.
Is that 50 years ago?
Yeah, no. Sandra Tanksley. I knew Sandra way before I knew Jared. And now I know why Jared's such a great real estate doctor. She was the best.
Wow.
Yes, she was.
Wow. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's do a couple of announcements. Don't forget, next week, we have a cornhole championship. Larry, you want to say something about it?
Chicken's good. Just want to let y'all know, everybody's saying, well, how are you going to have a program with a cornhole championship? Well, if you were here in 2019, you remember it, right? We're going to have 2 lanes set up out here in the middle of the floor. The tables will be set up around those 2 lanes so you can watch both participants, the ladies and the men, play. The match will probably start around 12:30-ish or something like that. It'll take about 20 minutes, but everybody can watch them play and cheer. The entourage when they come into the room is the thing you don't want to miss. So around 12:30 or so when they're introduced and come through those 2 back doors, you want to be sure and be here. So it'll be a fun day. Thank you.
Make sure you watch it. Steve Passon and Jeff Hughes are one of the best I've seen. That's very impressive. Very, very impressive. It's going to be great. Couple of the announcements. June 5th is the kind of the year-end social we're going to have. We are still going to have it. And the reason why we can't have it at my house is we have mold. So as of 2 days ago, we moved out of the house and then hotel. So we decided to remodel some bathrooms and start doing some stuff and all inside the walls and everywhere. So it's a mess, huh? It's a mess. So if anybody has a home that we can have, yeah, you knew that was coming, Nick. We'd still like to have it, but come up to me after or hopefully next couple of days so we can have a home to have our year-end social. So, Rod? Oh, we ain't having it there. So anyway, now we need to find an Airbnb for about 30 days. I guess it was so bad the mold expert said we need an environmentalist. So that really stinks. But anyway, yeah, come up to me if you don't mind us having our event in your home on June 5th. So that'd be great. Also, June 7th, the District Rotary Conference at Paris Landing. Don't forget that. I am going to send something out outside of Rotary, obviously, about an email if you guys want to have a big old party on the air show in Smyrna on the 7th at my hangar. That'll be a blast. And then don't forget the installation banquet, July 10th. We want a big crowd at Richmond Country Club. It's going to be great. Make sure you put that on your calendars. So awesome. All right. I believe that's all the announcements. We have a wonderful program today, and I'm going to ask Ray Little to come up and introduce our special guest.
He hit 420 his first year in the league. No. Jim Colvin was appointed the police chief in February of 2024. He's our 5th chief. I've known all of them and honored to have known all of them. He's been with the Brentwood Police Department since December of 2004 and served 20 years as patrol sergeant, a patrol lieutenant, and a captain over the city's patrol division. In 2022, he was named assistant chief of police. Jim grew up in Chicago, but his family later moved to Memphis, where he graduated from Bolton High School. He enrolled at the University of Tennessee Martin and earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. After joining the Brentwood Police Department, he went on to receive his master's degree in emergency management from Jacksonville State University. One honor he had in the past year or so was in 2024, he graduated from the FBI National Academy. That's a very prestigious thing to even be asked to be a part of. He's our 3rd Brentwood officer that has gone through that. And nationwide, I doubt many cities or police departments our size for our length of existence could claim the same thing. I don't know that for a fact, but I do know how hard that is to get into. And of course, that's at the Marine Corps base in Quantico. But now I'm going to talk about probably what really makes Jim special. His wife, Angie, his 3 children, Sarah, Finley, and Cooper. He is a really good man, and he epitomizes what we want in a police officer. And that's great when you're the leader. He definitely epitomizes the ability to serve and protect. The Brentwood Police Department always looks for what we call shepherd warriors. people who first try to help unless they have to go more into a warrior mode. We have very strict testing procedures. We often will go short to keep from hiring the wrong person and to wait until we find the right person. A lot of applicants never make it through the first test. He is now the leader of that. He epitomizes that excellence. I know Jim also as a friend and a fellow Rotarian, but I'm also very proud to serve with him as we serve the citizens of Brentwood city government. I know many of you know Jim from this club, but I just want you to know the level of excellence he has and considered in his profession. So without further ado, I'll welcome Chief Jim Colvin.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. That was very kind. I will not talk about my wife and kids today because I don't want you to see me cry. That's where I always get a little bit soft. We're going to try to stick to crime and what's going on here in Brentwood. I was looking forward to this, and obviously it's been a long time since I've been here. I don't think I've been back since FBINA. There were obviously a lot of promotions that took place, and but I was looking forward to speaking to a group of people that I was familiar with, and they were familiar with me. And I didn't get nervous until I saw the mayor show up and the assistant city manager and the sheriff and former police chief. I knew the vice mayor was going to be here. And then Leadership Brentwood shows up and Jared Tanksley's mom. And so I'm scared to death up here. I hope I don't let you all down, but thank you for being here. So I am recycling, I think a 2023 PowerPoint, but I updated it. This is Richard Hickey's PowerPoint. I left a few things in and I added a few more. So very brief history on the Brentwood Police Department. Most of you know this. 1969, the city was incorporated. The police department started in 1971 with Chief Buttry. He was our first employee and led the department to really what it is today. A lot of foundation was laid. We answered less than 1,000 calls for service in the first year. Fast forward to 2024, and we answer almost 37,000 calls for service. So this is a much busier agency than most people realize. And that number, 37,000, I'll come back to that later to make a few points, but it keeps our officers very busy. So we're proud of our CALEA accreditation. It's the standard in law enforcement. If you are an accredited agency, it shows that you are doing things the right way. And our CALEA accreditation goes back to 1989. We've maintained it every year since, and we are going through a reaccreditation right now as we speak. So our file review is done. We have an on-site coming up next month. And so an assessor will come and really just dig into everything at our police department, conduct a lot of interviews, make sure that everything we're showing on paper, they see in person. And this is something that we dedicate a lot of resources to because it's important for our community to know that we're upholding the highest standards in our industry. So staffing, we are authorized for 71 sworn officers. The city is very gracious. They know that it is a challenge to hire and retain officers currently. And we've struggled for the last few years, much like anyone else has, any other department. And so we do have the ability to overhire if we find good candidates. And we do that because just in a couple of months, we have an officer that is retiring. About 6 months after that, we have another officer retiring. And so when we have to fill one of those positions, if it's a brand new officer, if it's someone who's never worked in police work before, it's approximately 1 year from the time that we hire that individual until the time that they're on the street in their own vehicle serving as a police officer in this community. So we have to plan very far ahead to make sure that we don't have too many vacancies. When you add in the number of promotions that occur with retirements, it's a very busy time at the police department. And that's my excuse for not being here very much, is that we have promoted a CID captain, a CID lieutenant, a detective, 2 sergeants, a lieutenant, of course, an assistant chief of police, another captain, everything that trickled down from Chief Hickey retiring. So we're in a constant state of promotions, then that changes the people that you have on your shifts that are specialized in certain areas. So we have to get more training for the people that are still on the shifts that need additional coverage. It's an ongoing cycle, and it takes us a very long time to get all those pieces in place. So we're authorized for 71. We have 3 vacancies for patrol officer, but that is a very misleading number because we have 9 in training. And that's 9 officers that ideally would be on the street serving this community. And they're either at the academy, they're doing in-house training, or they're on the field training program. So they're not able to go out and serve independently. They are riding with a field training officer. And so those 2 officers are really only 1. And so that really puts us at 12 officers that we should have on the street that we don't. And that doesn't take into account the 2 vacancies that we have in investigations. I don't typically highlight our vacancies. It's not something that we enjoy sharing with the community, but you guys are friends, so you get the inside scoop here. We have two vacancies in investigations due to retirement and a promotion. So one of our detectives was promoted to lieutenant. She will be our first female patrol lieutenant. She was our first female detective, so we're very proud of her. And so Lori is now serving in that capacity, and we did not fill her vacancy in investigations because patrol comes first. We have to have people that can answer the call when you talk to a dispatcher and it could be your worst day, and the only people that can help you are the police. So we want to be there for you. We're very proud of our response time and the way that we serve this community. And so we dedicate a significant number of our resources to the patrol division. And you can see that by the number of officers we have dedicated strictly to patrol. 52 officers out of 71 sworn is a very high percentage. You won't find that at most police departments. We, as you know, every day is like Halloween. I wear this outfit, right? But I don't do much police work. I might as well walk around asking people for candy because I'm just dressed like a cop. I'm not actually on the street answering calls. And so we, as the administrators, we try to wear a lot of hats. We try to get a lot done. We have a lot of responsibilities because we don't want a lot of administrative police officers. We want police officers on the street serving and protecting the community. We do have a vacancy in dispatch right now. However, that job has been offered, and so that dispatcher will be starting soon. Our detectives I already covered. We have 7. Typically, right now we have 5. We had an officer that tore his bicep moving a tree out of the road during the storms. And so he had surgery. He's down 3 to 6 months. Fortunately, his background is in investigations, fraud investigations for a bank. And so he is filling in investigations. So they're kind of 6 down. I guess with the arm, maybe 5.5 down. But he is doing a really good job. And so he is serving over there in the meantime until he heals up. And, you know, that's typical too. We have our records supervisor who is a sergeant. He had a back injury and had surgery, and he's down for a few months. So when you have one person that goes out, it can affect the shift. Officers can't take days off. They have to pull extra duty, and that wears on them. And so our staffing is really our main concern within the police department right now, is making sure that we get our staffing up to the point that we can sustain our 10-hour shifts and make sure that we are keeping our response time low and providing you the service you deserve. We have 19 civilians, and that includes dispatch. So our vehicle maintenance, evidence technician, our records clerks. We have an administrative professional that is on the administrative hallway for us and does payroll, HR type duties and budgeting. So we're pretty thin on civilians as well. And a lot of our resources, again, are sworn officers. That will change in the coming years. We have some positions that can be filled with civilian personnel. And so we'll make a few of those changes in the coming years. But I have, hopefully, almost 10 years to serve in this position. And so those are our future changes that, you know, we're going to explore and we've been looking at for some time. So these are updated numbers. I already talked about the calls for service, a little under 37,000 calls for service. Our average response time is 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Again, I'll challenge you. Go look around and or just call if you live in Davidson County, just call and say you want to file a report, and then call me and tell me what day they respond. Everyone is short, and it is difficult to manage these resources and the demands of the community. Everyone's short. We went through a very difficult period where police departments were being defunded, resources being allocated different places. Community support was very challenging, and you don't hear about it much anymore. And I'm not a political guy at all, but it's nice to not hear those things. It was very difficult. I was still on the street when that was taking place. I was a lieutenant on midnight shift. And it seemed like every other car you stopped, all they want to do is argue with you. Regardless of the violation, regardless of why you stopped them, they felt empowered to just have an argument with you. And I would tell people regularly, I would be at the window, I would do my common greeting, which is part of verbal judo that our officers learn. I would say, hello, I'm Jim Colvin, Brentwood Police Department. The reason I stopped you is you were speeding. Is there any reason that you're speeding tonight? And they would immediately start in on how this was related to their race or ethnicity or whatever. And I'd say, hang on just 1 second. Let's start this over. My name is Jim Colvin with the Brentwood Police Department. Reason I stopped you tonight. And usually that would work. I'd usually kind of break the ice. And I just let them know this doesn't have to be confrontational. I understand you aren't out here trying to break the law. It could just be a taillight out. It's not a big deal. We can work through it. And that worked well a lot of times. But it is different in this current climate. Support is rising. Our applications are rising. What happens in the media has a significant impact on our recruiting and retention. And we have always been blessed to work in this particular community where our officers feel the love of these citizens daily. Whether they go into a market to get a drink and someone just thanks them for their service, or someone goes to a restaurant and their meal is paid for. We have a kitchen area in our beautiful new headquarters down the street that is, it is still called the Hughes Mahal, by the way. But in our beautiful new headquarters, we have a countertop that stays full of goodies from different groups in the community or just citizens who want to say thanks. And so we truly do feel the love in this community, more so than a lot of others, and we don't take that for granted. But getting back to the numbers, we are proud of our response time. The traffic crashes were actually down last year, which I know that's surprising because we all travel these roads and we know how crazy it is. I don't know what happened with COVID. I think we got used to no traffic on the roadways and people just aren't handling it well. I'm not exactly sure, but I do have plans to try to increase our patrol efforts specifically related to the staffing of our traffic division. That's something that I'll be talking to the commission about for the next budget year. And I'd like to make some changes there. We just have way too many complaints and too many dangerous areas. Our public works department is constantly working to try to put traffic calming measures in neighborhoods because they're inundated with requests. And so we understand that traffic is an issue and the driving behaviors of a lot of people need correction. So that'll bring me down here. I'll skip ahead to the citations. That is a little bit misleading number. That's total violations. So we have some officers that if they've pulled you over for speeding, but then obviously you don't have insurance or you have something else going on, you might have 2 or 3 tickets in one piece of paper ticket. So that's total violations, which is almost 4,000. But we do issue a lot of citations, and we have a newer city judge who is very supportive of our actions, and that helps a lot. We made 1,269 arrests last year. Is anyone surprised by that number? I would think most people are surprised. They wouldn't think that we average over 100 arrests a month. I don't think people realize how busy our officers are, how much they're doing. We don't publicize a lot of information. If it is something that the community needs to know for their safety, then we will put it out. We are happy to put it out. But a lot of our interaction with the community related to criminal activity is targeted. We use a system where I can target the specific neighborhood where an event is occurring or the specific street or just the surrounding streets. And we target that area to let them know what's going on in their community. There's no reason for us to share someone's worst day with the entire community of Brentwood, the entire city, right? One day that might be one of us, and we wouldn't want all of our business shared throughout the entire city. For the people that are in that immediate area and they're affected, we will let them know. They will then go to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and let a bunch of other people know. But that is for them to do, not us. And you all probably saw, we took a different approach yesterday because we had a home burglary. How many people saw the Facebook post about the home burglary? You and about 500,000 other people, according to, yes, according to Facebook insights that I get. So that's the most popular post we've ever had on social media. 500,000 people have viewed that post. And a good social media post for us, like a high performing social media post, might get 100,000 views. In less than 24 hours, that has 500,000. So we have dealt with this group before, and we'll touch on it towards the end of this program because that is a group that is named the South American Theft Group by law enforcement. So we're all using common verbiage so we know who we're talking about. They have a very specific method of operation. And so we know who they are when they come here. We know what group they're associated with, and we're making really tremendous progress on that investigation in just less than 24 hours. So very proud of the work that our folks are doing. We'll touch on that in a little bit. 1,952 total offenses. That number is a little funny too, because it's how we report to the TBI about the crimes that take place in Brentwood. And you would think if we had 1,269 arrests and, you know, less than 2,000 offenses that we're basically solving everything. That's not how those numbers work together. So don't try to make sense of those. What's that, Jared? You had a question? How many times did we use force last year with 36,700? That's a great question, Jared. So use of force is something that during 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, it was what we got asked about all the time. I haven't been asked in probably 2 years about use of force. I don't know where the conversation went, but I'm happy to talk about it. So if we have 36,700 calls for service, what's a reasonable amount of, a reasonable number of use of force incidents? Now, use of force at the Brentwood Police Department is any force. If I point a weapon at someone, I don't discharge the weapon, I just point it at them. That's a use of force. Obviously, if I tase them, it's use of force. Pepper spray, baton, all uses of force. But if I try to arrest Martin Plumley, and you tried before, we weren't going to talk about that. This was just an example. But if Martin doesn't want to be arrested and we go to the ground in order to put handcuffs on him, I have used force against Martin Plumley, and I will do a use of force report. Now, Martin's not hurt. We didn't damage any property. He and I are fine, but I have to do a use of force report. That's what our policy says. We report it. We are an accredited agency. You know, we're above board. We report what we're supposed to report, but that is a use of force. So 36,700 calls for service, almost 1,300 arrests. How many uses of force did we have last year? Pointing a gun, taking someone to the ground, tasing them, pepper spray. Michael Kaplan, you had a guess? Okay. 14. So if you want to know how professional the Brentwood Police Department is and the men and women that are out here on the street responding to calls of every nature, armed individuals, people who are intoxicated, impaired in some way, mentally ill, people who want to die, our officers used force 14 times in almost 37,000 calls. For the mathematicians in the group, that's 0.0003 of 1%. So 6 of those, we just pointed a firearm at somebody. I say just. That's probably not a good use of the word just, but we pointed a firearm at somebody. I'm sure they deserved it, okay? They were all within policy. So we tased 2 people. Tasers are still effective, and we have new tasers coming the new budget year. Significant expense, but a great tool, great less lethal option. And so we spend a lot of money to tase 2 people, but that's 2 people that may have been injured otherwise if we hadn't tased them. The other thing that I like to highlight is 60 vehicles fled from us last year. So we were actively trying to stop a vehicle, and they fled from us 60 different times. And only 4 times did we feel like it rose to the seriousness that we could jeopardize the public. Because our policy says that letting that offender go free has to be a bigger danger to the community than the pursuit itself. And so only 4 times did it rise to the occasion, or rise to that level that we pursued those people. And so 56 times our officers just watched them drive off, which is one of the hardest things to do. When I was a lieutenant on midnight shift, I had a great traffic stop one night. I knew it was going to be a good traffic stop. It was out near Holly Tree and Murray Lane, dark, middle of the night, nobody around. And this gentleman was flying, and he came to a stop in a strange area. And I walked up to the vehicle and I started my, "Hello, I'm Jim Colvin, Brentwood Police Department." And he looked at me and said, "Nope," and took off. And what you see in my video looks like this. Oh. 201, he's running. Then I walked back to my car as defeated as any police officer has ever felt, because we're supposed to go chase them, but we have policies and procedures for a reason. And that was policy that I believe was changed under Chief Hughes. It just doesn't make sense. That guy was running because he had a minor warrant. I figured out who he was and we arrested him, but it was a minor warrant. And so there are alternative means of apprehension, and we explore those and work hard to get these people in custody. But 56 times out of 60, we didn't want to jeopardize the community. Crime mapping, I get a lot of questions, so we wanted to put this in here. You can go to the Brentwood Police Department website on the city's page, go to the police department, and there's a link for crime mapping. It's a square button kind of in the middle of the page. This is what you see when you pull up crime mapping. That's not Brentwood. It's zoomed out. You're seeing a lot of Nashville. When you look at a little area that you zoom into, you'll find that it's the clear area on the map. That's Brentwood. There's not a lot of crimes that you'll see in crime mapping, but you can change the date range. So you can go 3 months out on this. If you want to know what's going on in your community, what's going on in the city as a whole, what's going on near your business, this is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's a day or two lag in the information going through our system and getting into our crime mapping software, but you can go there and look to see what's going on around you. So crime mapping is a great tool. Please go to the website, take a look at it. There are a lot of search parameters that you can change and familiarize yourself with what's going on in the city. It's basic information. You will not get reports and names and all of that, but you'll see the type of crime, where it occurred, when it occurred. So if you have questions, go to our website. So a lot of this is the same as when Chief Hickey presented. We are still using license plate readers. We are still investing in license plate readers throughout the city. We have more that are going to be installed next month. And that's our last current project for license plate readers. But that has become a little bit complicated because the 2 big companies have stopped sharing information with one another. And so we're going to have to figure out how we navigate the lack of information that now exists between license plate reader companies. So our officers have the ability to put basically a hot list together. So right now we have burglars that we know are here. If we know what car they're in, which we do, if we know what car they're in, we can put that license plate into our license plate reader system. And when they come into the city, if they hit a license plate reader, we get notified. We use Vigilant, which is Motorola. Okay, Motorola is the parent company. There's another big company called Flock. Flock and Motorola had some kind of falling out. Flock no longer shares information with Motorola. So we won't get hits if someone is a Flock customer and not a Motorola customer. So we have to find a way to bridge that gap. And so we're working with Flock to try to figure out how we get both sets of information without paying a ridiculous sum of money to Flock. So that's something we're navigating currently. Our Citizens Police Academy just graduated. That's an awesome program. If you haven't been through it, it's amazing. You get to see the inside view of the police department. One of the reviews I just read said it was like a backstage pass. And it really is. I mean, we show you exactly what we are, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. A lot of it's hands-on. You get to do traffic stops. You get to do fingerprints and shoe molds and all kinds of stuff. So It's a great program. If you're interested, again, go to the website. You can sign up, put in an application. We only do it once a year. So it's a difficult class to get into, but it's a ton of fun. Yeah, we'll run up to about probably 30 people would be the max. Usually it's in the 20s. And it's a great group. It's similar to Leadership Brentwood, but it's all police department. It's just a different division of the police department every week, or a different specialized group that is teaching you what they do and then showing you what they do. And you get to ask a lot of questions. The group becomes very close because they're all working together in scenarios and different things. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot like Leadership Brentwood. No Camp Widgewagon though. We don't go have a sleepover. So Citizens Police Academy is great. We also do a small academy for the Baptist Children's Home. So we've enjoyed a great relationship with them for many years. And over the summer, we host a summer camp for those kids. We recognize that they haven't always had the greatest interactions with law enforcement, most likely. And so it's important for us to show them that we care about them and that we're here for them. They can call us if they need us. We're going to treat them appropriately and that we want to help. So Richard Hickey started that. It's a great initiative. We're going to continue that going forward. We are involved, I'll read off a few of these things, but, Neighborhood Watch, we still do those. We do surveys. If you need an assessment done of your home or business, we can tell you different things to change to make yourself more resistant to criminals. We have safety classes, women's defense classes. We participate in the National Night Out Against Crime. Our TAC Team Challenge is a lot of fun. If you want to, well, I should just let you talk about this. I mean, the mayor is our poster child for the TAC Team Challenge. We put him up on signs and everything else. He participated. He can tell you how grueling it is. I don't know if I can even say I participated. I was there. I did some events. I didn't do as well as the mayor did, but I gave it a pretty good shot. It is not easy. Our tactical team is a small group of officers who receive a tremendous amount of training, and they stay very physically fit. They have a more grueling physical fitness test than the rest of our department. We test twice a year still. Chief Hughes instituted that. It's been great. 96%, Chief, in case you're wondering, that's our pass rate for the fitness test. So 96% of our officers either reach the fit or elite level in our fitness test. And that's push-ups, sit-ups, a sprint, and a mile run. And they're all timed events, obviously. There's minimum qualifications, but 96% of our officers have attained fit or elite status in this last round of testing. The tactical team takes that to a different level. They wear gas masks, weighted vests, do a bunch of different things. It's not fun, but they do it every year. And Mayor got to do it, and I was there too. And it was fun. It was a great event. So this just kind of scratches the surface. We just finished the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. We are constantly engaged with different aspects of the community, different groups. We love it. It's a lot of the reason that we're here. We want to know you so that you can actually see and know us and not just see the uniform, even though nobody recognizes me outside of uniform, bless you. Nobody recognizes me outside of uniform, but I'm okay with that. So a couple of pictures. We did put Kirk Bednar in that one, so that's fun. That's a good picture of him. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Please don't text him. There he is. There's the mayor doing his burpees. That's our TAC Team Challenge. And just some local things. And I'll go ahead and expand on the South American Theft Group in a minute. But mental health continues to be a significant issue. We respond to mental health calls just about daily in the city. And you would be amazed at the emails and voicemails that I receive from people who are in desperate need of help. A lot of times we offer it to them, they don't accept it. But we do what we can to try to get them in front of a professional who can actually help them. So we train every one of our officers in crisis intervention training. It's a great program. It started in Memphis. It is the standard in the nation. And we have an officer right now who is in training to, it's called a train the trainer for CIT. So he can come back and teach in-house this program because we value this program so much that we want all of our officers to be trained. A lot of organizations have just a small group of officers and they'll call one of them when they have a mental health call, or that small group of officers is dispatched to a mental health call. We train everyone. Every single one of our guys and girls gets trained in crisis intervention training. So this will make 2 in-house trainers, and we have a third one scheduled for October. So we've invested a lot in the crisis intervention training. It's very important. And we don't want to use force on someone when they're in a mental health crisis. And if we can figure out a better way to communicate with them and get our message across, then we're committed to doing that. Vehicle thefts, I think key fobs have just made it so easy to leave it in your car and walk out and push a button and go. And criminals know that, and it's very easy for them to steal cars. We have a lot of young offenders from Metro that like to steal cars, and they like to be armed. They'll break into cars just looking for guns. They'll leave everything else in the car. They have no interest in anything but the guns. And so that is something that is unique to the last 6-7 years. In the old days, right, Chief? A car burglar was just a car burglar. They were just breaking into cars, taking whatever was of value. That's not the case anymore. They're walking around neighborhoods armed. And so they pose a significant threat to anyone who confronts them because they're armed and ready. And they're all stolen guns. You can look at the reports from Nashville about how many guns are stolen out of cars. And it's staggering how many guns are out there on the street. Retention and recruiting, we kind of talked about that. We are in, I wish this was wood, but we're in a good place right now. Morale is high. Our officers are having fun, great community support. Pay has risen over the last few years. And so even though our officers are having to move farther and farther away from the city of Brentwood, they're still coming to work every day. They're happy to come to work and serve this community. And so our retention seems to be doing well right now. And hopefully I didn't just jinx us. So the South American Theft Group, and then this is it, I promise. And I didn't leave much time for questions. I had planned to leave a little more. But South American Theft Group, they're here, they're working. They typically will hit in Nashville, Brentwood, and then somewhere either in Franklin or the county before they leave. They like to stagger where they go, wooded areas, either along power lines, somewhere where they can get in without being detected, place that no one's watching. They wear face coverings, carry a backpack, screwdriver, window punch. They will break the back glass on either a door or a window, go in your house right at dusk, and they're going straight to the master bedroom looking for your safe, for your jewelry, anything they can put in a backpack, and then they get out. They're about 1.5 minutes in and out of the house. They're very quick. They use Wi-Fi jammers, so if you don't have hardwired cameras, you're not gonna have any footage of them. And they have a vehicle that's roaming, and when they come out of that house and sneak back through the woods, they jump in the vehicle and they're gone. They ship the information out, or the goods. They ship the goods out, and so they have boxes ready to go. You can catch them 10 minutes after the burglary. They might have no burglary tools, no goods from the house. You have no video of them in or around the house. So what do you have to go on? What can you charge them with? It's very difficult to catch this group, but we're about to do it. So keep watching the news. We're hot on their trail, and I hope to update that very popular social media post in the next few days, because our folks are working really, really hard. And just the last thing I'll say before questions is, I've said this several times, but I always feel very guilty standing in front of you as a very fortunate man who gets to be the chief of police, the 5th chief of police ever in Brentwood. And I'm sure you feel the same way, Chief. Sure. I'm very fortunate to be where I am. I never intended to be here. This is just the path that God took me. I'm grateful for it. I don't take it for granted a single day. And it's an honor to serve here. And I feel guilty taking any credit for the work that the men and women of the Brentwood Police Department do. It's the folks that are answering the calls in the dispatch center, that are responding to the houses, that are doing shift work, that are working holidays, nights, weekends, kids' birthdays. They make a lot of sacrifices to do a job that is very rewarding and very meaningful and very necessary. And so I hope nothing I said today puts any of the spotlight on me. Our officers are truly heroes, and they're doing tremendous work. So I'm very proud of them. Thank you all for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Chief Jim, for being here. What is a typical relationship between a municipality's police department and a county sheriff's department? Interactions.
Yeah, it's a great question. It was better a few years ago. Appreciate you teeing that one up for me. Right. I love the sheriff. He knows that.
Out of the almost 1,300 arrests, I'm assuming most of those are not Brentwood residents.
So it's a great question, and I probably need to dig into this more. I'm sure we can do it with the system that we use for our records management. I will tell you that when it comes to shoplifting, petty thefts, burglaries, those aren't Brentwood residents for the most part. Very few of those are Brentwood residents. They're almost all Nashville residents. But when we have a domestic, it's mainly a Brentwood resident. A lot of assaults that take place between individuals are at parties or in their house or at an event. Those are Brentwood residents. So I don't have a good breakdown for you, but I'm gonna figure out how to do that because I think that is an interesting stat. And I've been asked a couple times lately about how many of our arrests are Brentwood residents. It's probably more than you would think, just because this is where we serve. This is where we answer calls. People with drug offenses. I mean, they live in our community. There's people here that are struggling with those issues too. DUIs, things like that, driving offenses. All of those are included in our arrest numbers. So our detectives are essentially all general detectives, and that's a little bit unique. We have a couple of detectives that have specialized training in computer forensics so that all the digital evidence they can help us handle. We also still utilize a former employee who's with the Secret Service now because we handle a lot of digital evidence. But they work everything from a theft case to a murder. All of our detectives, they go to all the training that they need. We can't have specialized detectives. When there's a major crime scene, most all of them are going. We have officers that assist because they're crime scene technicians. Our officers wear a lot of hats. But when we have a major scene, most of our detective division is going to go to process that scene. And so I can tell you that I used to joke with people when I was a detective because I had investigated a couple of homicides. And, one of them was James Nave killed Beth Sweeney, his sister. And the next one was Brian Bell, who was killed by a former girlfriend. And those happened within just a few months of each other. And it was my first year being a detective. But the funny thing is, if you Googled Jim Colvin, what you found was a vandalism case I solved at Crockett Park. And so I would tell people I solve everything from vandalisms to homicides, everything in between. And it makes you a very well-rounded detective. Now we have, again, certain training that we only give to a limited number of individuals because it's so specialized. And one of those is crimes against children. So we have detectives that are specifically trained to work with children. And those are people that we've hand selected because they're a good fit for that particular type of investigation. So we've hand selected them, we've given them the training that they need. But in general, our detectives investigate anything and everything.
Chief, thanks for being here. So if people would lock their guns inside and lock their cars when they're not in them, what impact do you think that'd make on our crime rate?
Yeah, it's tremendous. There are two types of burglars. There are burglars that are opportunistic because it's easy to just pull a door handle on a car. It's easy to walk into a house where there's no alarm set, there's nothing secured, no one watching. And then there are burglars that are coordinated, organized, professional. And what we're dealing with South American Theft Group is the coordinated, organized, professional group. Very little you can do as a homeowner to stop that group. You're going to go out for dinner. You're going to go celebrate graduations, weddings. You're going to do things as a family outside of your home. That's what that group is waiting for. They're sitting in the wood line looking for a house that either appears vacant or they've watched the people leave, and then they target that house. There are other criminals who will go through a parking lot, and if there's not an unlocked door on a vehicle in that parking lot, they leave that parking lot and go somewhere else. There are specific groups that never break a window to get into a car, and they'll come out here and do 15 burglaries at a hotel. There are other groups, they'll break every car window in the lot, whether they see anything or not, just hoping they get lucky. So it won't prevent all your crime, but if you lock up your guns, if you keep those secured, most of these criminals don't have the time and ability to get to them. It's only the very coordinated groups and the skilled burglars and thieves. So there is there's a great value in people just recognizing to harden their target and make it difficult for the bad guys to get your valuables, especially your guns, because they're not doing anything good. That's not for home defense for them. They're not doing anything good with those guns.
Chief, in closing, can you tell us who your best and worst predecessors were? And if I need to escort my brother, I mean, someone out of the room, for you to answer that, I will do.
Since I took a shot at him, I will tell you, you all know, we have a lot of fun. And I worked with Sheriff Hughes for, I guess about 17 years of my career. And there's no chance I'd be standing here without him. So great debt of gratitude to Sheriff Hughes.
Jim, we'd like to give you a gift, which is a really nice pen. But if you don't mind,
I'd love to.
we'd like to have you sign it. We read this to first graders and just kind of put a little note on what you talked about.
I love it.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Give him another round of applause. Thank you, Jim. Very much. We really appreciate what you do and what the entire force does for the city of Brentwood. Thank you very much. All righty. Want to thank the guests for coming. Appreciate that. We'd love to have you back. Thank you very, very much for coming. And don't forget to help stack the chairs and 8 away from the walls and help put up the tables. If there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, yes, great. Good question. Oh, well, there you go. All right. Well, we are adjourned. Y'all have a great weekend.